All right, thanks everybody for joining tonight. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:02. If we could just do a quick roll call of who's on the phone, that would be great. So on the phone, I have Larry Gumet, correct?
Yes.
Alicia Anthony's on the phone, correct? Alicia, you're there, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Great. Steve Kirby is on the phone, correct?
I am here, yes.
Al Elliott is there.
Yes, I'm here.
John Miller.
Confirmed.
Rachel Young.
Yep.
Linda Hayes.
Yep.
Stephanie Holland.
Yep.
It sounds like someone else
Yep.
just called in.
Kevin Kelly's on.
Kevin, good to hear from you. Hey, Kevin.
Hey guys, Cal.
And then in the room we have James from SCTV, Nancy, and Carl Campagna. Great. All right, so that's everybody we need to get going. If we could just take a couple minutes to review the minutes from the September 9th meeting, and we'll put those in the books. Great. Alicia, we had one edit on the minutes from September 12th from Kevin Kelly. He noticed
Okay.
the commission members and the user members were kind of mixed up. He's neither. He's just I guess what would you be, Kevin? A user member? He's the facilities director. Yeah.
What am I from the crowd from the balcony? Who was that?
That was Nancy. She said facilities director. So
Perfect.
we'll have to make your.
I'll take that for two. I'll take that for two.
Right. We'll have to make your own special slot here. So that's one correction, Alicia on the minutes.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any corrections for the minutes?
No.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from September 9th, 2020 with the one correction. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Carl in the room here. If we could do a roll call on the phone, Alicia, that'd be great.
Larry?
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Stephanie? Yes. Ed?
Ed's absent.
Oh, yes. Sorry. And JD?
Yes.
And Steven?
Yes. All right.
Oh, Carl. Sorry, Carl.
He's in the room, yeah. He said
Yes.
Yes. And Al Elliott's on the phone also. He was
Yeah, I reviewed the minutes. They're fine as far as I'm concerned.
Great, thanks, Al. All right, so all are in favor, so the motion is passed. Thank you. All right, let's get right into. I know Steve has a little scheduling kind of conflict, so we'll get right into the senior center with a little update from him and take it from there. So, Steve, I'll turn it over to you for update and progress in the senior center.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I do have a progress update. I did not do a documentation log as many of you were at the tour that we had of the progress of the facility on the 23rd. So right now at the senior center, they're spreading along. They're planning on hydro seeding tomorrow. They will be not using water from the hydrant. The hydro seed truck will show up with water in it. The contractor is aware of the water ban. Plantings are scheduled to start next week. We don't have the exact delivery date of the plants, but it's sometime the week of the 5th. The gutters have started. Stair number 2 has been delivered. Installation of exterior trim and siding is ongoing. The thin brick mock-up was approved, and the framing has started around the perimeter of the building. Insulation is ongoing. The elevator installation is ongoing. The generator has been delivered. to an off-site storage yard in Uxbridge. I looked at it yesterday just to confirm that it was there because they are billing for it in the requisition that is not ready for tonight. The sprinkler, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical rough-ins are ongoing on both floors. The tree to the south east of the building is scheduled to be trimmed at some point. We don't have a date as of yet. And we did receive the Columbia Gas application for the new service today, which we will sign and return to them by the end of this week. At the Recreation Center, the elevator installation has started there also. And also there they've spread loam and will be hydroseeding tomorrow in areas that they deem that could be completed. The interior work is restarted. They're doing framing, plumbing, and electrical roughs. And at some point, the tree at the northwest corner of the gym will be removed. Again, we don't have a date on that yet. That's what I have for construction progress. Any questions on that?
No, I think the tour was good. I was happy to see the building and see the quality and fit and finish. I think most everybody was happy with it. It looked good inside the building and outside. I mean, things are certainly coming along at a good pace and looking good. Does anyone have any comments or questions on the building or in particular, or anything you saw on the tour?
Steve, I have a quick question. This is JD.
Sure.
For Steve. Is the hydro seeding going to be complete, or is it in phases? In other words, is that going to come back again in 3 weeks to finish off other areas, or is it really almost all ready to be hydro seeded?
It is not all ready to be hydroseeded because there's a number of changes that occurred. For instance, the change to the front entrance, which they had to order new granite for. So they're doing the areas that they can. We're going to have a discussion tomorrow a little bit about what the extent of those are, because I think there might be some further areas that they can do. But they are trying to do as much as they can to get grass established.
Good. Okay. I didn't imagine it was going to be ready completely, but that's great. Let's get something down. That's great.
Yes. Yep.
So along those lines of the higher seeding, we did have a note from a town member, Jen Kuhn, about potentially she just wanted to discuss the hydro seeding and potentially putting it off to the spring, which is it's a point of discussion, but the project will be over by the spring anyways, and we have to remobilize, and costs would be prohibitive, I imagine, at that point.
Well, there's going to be a discussion about how far they can go, and we have to have that with the landscape architect because there are dates of planting that are recommended, and there's not drop dead dates, but there's recommended dates that you plant grass or trees in. Ultimately, if we don't get a decent stand of grass, they'll have to come back and touch it up. There is also a maintenance period that the contractor wants to discuss because we are going into a period where grass is going to be dormant very soon, and we pretty much got 2 months left.
Sure.
So there's some discussions that have to be had with the contractor, his landscaper, the landscape architect. But again, they're trying to get as much done as they possibly can.
Right.
But there have been changes on the site.
Right.
So that has affected their progress.
But it's safe to say to get
You
the
say
grass
again
down.
the
To
comment?
get the grass down now. I mean, you need it to protect the soils and erosion and some runoff issues.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah. The problem with spreading loam. The problem with spreading loam, if you don't seed it, it's going to start to weed up. So that's why you don't see loam just spread out everywhere, because if there's an area that they feel that they can't do, again, we're going to discuss them. that loam would just become a weed patch. So they're spreading loam where they feel confident that they will not have to go back and do any work or any work that will go over those areas and seeding them so that yes you get grass as opposed to weeds.
Right. I'm sure we have some sort of standard warranty with the grass, right? Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's pretty precise within the spec as to what they need to do, what their maintenance period is as far as mowings and so forth. Again, that's all items that they want to talk about because the maintenance period will ultimately probably go into the spring.
Right.
Because we really need to key on getting the a new entry installed, and until the granite curbing is delivered, they really can't do anything there. And there's a few other areas that have some potential revisions being considered.
Okay.
Can I ask Stephen Shea, why would someone ask for the hydro seeding to be delayed? What's the rationale?
They said
Steve, I would say that they're concerned about the weather.
yes,
And the
exactly.
cold.
Yep.
Oh,
But
They think
to
it's
my
late.
understanding, I mean, right now is kind of prime time to plant grass. Going into the
Yeah, right now.
right. So yeah, I mean, I think your strategy is decent with getting the grass in that you can now, and certainly touching up areas in the spring to bring it to full, to get the full job done. Is there any comments from the board on the strategy? No.
This is Kevin also weighing in that also we can't water it. The town's in a pretty big drought that's going to be in for a while. We're down a lot of water, so if we did hydro seed, we cannot water it.
The contract.
They're trucking in water for watering. They were notified of the water ban. The contract calls for the water to be available from the town and that the contractor's paying for it, but the water isn't available from the town because of the water ban. Hopefully, as we're getting into essentially October timeframe, maybe the water ban can be lifted for certain days. I'm not sure, but at this point, they're trucking in water from an off-site source to water the grass.
Which we will pay for as an extra because the contract called for water to be available from the town.
Right.
You are correct.
Correct? Correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just saying, that's another reason. But
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, is there any issues with the hydro seeding carrying on from the board? All right. No comments there. All right, good. The only other question I had was there was some kind of messages back and forth about the fence and the style and if the old fence was going to remove, but we did confirm that old fence, chain link fence, is going to be removed, right, Steve?
Only to the point of where it's shown on the drawings. That is, I don't know how many feet, but it's midway down the western side of the property.
Right.
That new fencing stops, and the existing chain link fence
Carries
is
on.
to remain.
Right.
It's
I
not the
guess-
entire west side.
Right. But I guess the question was, well, so the chain link fence will be removed where the new fence is being put up, right?
Correct. The existing chain link fence was allowed to stay in place as construction
Yeah.
fence during the construction, as long as it had a scrim attached to it,
Got it.
which they did. Otherwise, they owned new temporary construction fence, but the fence was fine. There was no reason to
Right.
put another set of fence up.
And then the fence also had
Nice one.
some stipulations from the planning board on height, right, for privacy and things like that. I forget what the height was.
8 feet.
8 feet.
8 feet. Yep.
So that was
Custom fence.
a custom fence that was fairly pricey, I imagine, right? That was
Sure.
right. Okay. And the only other, in the carriage house, the Circle Drive or wherever they requested, are they still pursuing that, or is that something they were going to take up with the planning board themselves? Or?
No, I have to give a planning board an update of the site changes that are being considered or that have been done or that we considered and we're not doing, so they can just determine whether they're a minor change or whether they have to go to a hearing.
Okay. I mean, is it worth us looking at the cost of these changes first?
Well, I'm doing all of that, trying to prioritize cost over having, because if we have to go to a hearing, we don't have the time to wait.
Right.
So Steve, are you on their next agenda for that?
No.
No, Linda, the proposal was, the information was going to be sent to them. They were going to review, like Steve said, it to see if it was, see what the changes were, if they were major, minor, then they were going to make the call whether we needed to go to an actual hearing.
Okay.
So that's a similar scenario where the parking lot and everything's held up. It's kind of in limbo. All right.
The only thing that's gone before them is the new entry to First Parish,
Right, and that had been
which they voted on everything except the change to the fence.
right. Okay. All right. No, good update. Got a couple issues covered, or topics covered, so that was good. Is there any other questions or comments or input from the board? Nothing. All right.
No.
That was a quick one. Good. Yeah, thanks for the update, Steve. We appreciate it. The only item we had on here was just an invoice from BH plus A that I don't know if you want to review that or...
Do you want me to update you on the budget?
Oh, yes, sorry, that
Yes.
was on the agenda, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay, I went through and did a budget update. I got the latest AP log from Nancy. Currently, and I break this into hard costs and soft costs because we had construction contingency of $510,618 and change in the hard costs column. Right now, we've issued 7 change orders at a little under $100,000, which represents a little less than 1% of the contract price. We've also issued 5 CCDs that total around 84,000 and change, about 82% of the project. We had to issue CCDs because the contractor was including extended general conditions costs on specific change requests, and we needed to get the work done, but the contract has clauses in it that state there is no damages for delays. So we recalculated the cost, less those extended general conditions costs, and issued them as a CCD, which they accepted. It's simply a paperwork issue, and they are proceeding with those items. But with the CCD total and the change order total, as well as the the PCOs that have been submitted to date and that have not been resolved, and potential future CCDs, we have essentially $74,683 left in the construction contingency. Now that's not a set number because, like I said, we have CRs that we haven't resolved yet with them. They're still under review, and we have a number of potential change requests that I'm carrying placeholders for until such time that they submit them. So, but I always want to be aware of the worst case so that we don't overspend what we have on our budget. So with that, we also had soft costs, in which we had a contingency at the beginning of the project for $122,634. Given certain things that have occurred on the project where we had to give amendments, we had some peer review costs from Merrill. We had some advertising costs, and I'm still carrying some legal fees, the internet, the moving costs, which haven't been really resolved yet. We're at $35,322 left in the soft cost contingency. So, we're on target to stay on the budget at this point. We have the FF&E, which is going out to bid, which Rachel will be talking about shortly. That we are bidding out to multiple furniture vendors. It would be nice to capture some savings there. We may get some savings in the soft cost column under the utility gas charges column because, like I said, I did get the application for the new service from the gas company. And at this point, they say they are not going to charge for the tie-in fee, which they've listed at about $14,000. So we may recoup some soft cost money there. But all in all, we are still on track with to be at or under the total project budget for the job.
Okay. That hard cost contingency, is that inclusive of the parking lot number, or is that?
I am carrying a placeholder for the potential need for the future parking lot.
Okay. So that's a considerable amount of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, but that may have to be a number that we may have to cut into if something comes up that's pertinent to the finishing of the building.
Okay.
We just had National Grid come out and say that the bollards are too short, so we have a solution for it, but it's still something that they're installed the way they're supposed to be, but they said they needed to be 5 foot high, which we're not gonna argue with the inspector that's coming out from the power company. So.
The bollards for the transformer skid?
The balls that protect the transformer.
5 feet instead of 4 feet?
Yes, roughly. I think we're at like 4.2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Can you sleeve them? Is that?
That's what we're going to do. We're going to sleeve them and gain the foot or so doing that. So it's not huge, but I think there's 6 or 8 of them. So.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments on budget? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah. Keep us posted, and let's just have the same discussion every meeting, just to see where we're at and see what we're up against. Good.
Yes, absolutely. You want me to go through the Bargman invoice?
Yeah, let's do that so you can get on your way to your other engagement here.
Okay, yeah, we only have one invoice. The meeting dates are sort of at the end of the month, which is a little bit before some of the invoices come in, but this was a mid-month invoice, which was for BH Bossay's invoice for the services for the month of August, which is invoice 24726. It's in the total amount of $17,783.60. It's comprised of construction administration to 70% and FF&E to 72%.
Okay. So yeah, just for the board's information, I looked over the invoice. Looks pretty consistent with the other months, and the invoice has also been reviewed by Vertex and signed off on.
What I did on this month, as I look forward as to what we, how many months were left in the project, this monthly went down a little bit from last month because I want to spread it out evenly through the remaining months.
Okay. No, that's good. Any questions or comments or input on the invoice?
No, I don't have any comment.
All right.
No?
I'd like to make a motion to approve invoice number 24726 from Bargman Hendy and Architect for services rendered through August 31st, 2020 in the amount of $17,783.60 and costs associated with work construction administration and FF&E. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Carl.
Okay.
If we can get a quick roll call on the phone, Alicia, that'd be great.
Al Elliott?
I don't think I get a vote on that, do I?
No, Al's not a voting member on this one. Thanks, Al.
Eden?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
He said
Linda?
yes.
Yes.
Linda?
Yes for Linda.
Good.
Stephanie?
Yes.
JD?
Yes.
Did we get Larry? Or we get...
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Hey,
So all,
Larry, did I?
Yeah, we got it, Larry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all are in favor. So the motion moves. Thank you. Good. All right. I think that that wraps it up for what you had, right, Steve?
Yeah, the only other thing that I wanted to mention, we're probably going to have a meeting before the next one that's scheduled, because the next one's scheduled for the end of October. I think
It
it's
is.
the
Yeah.
27th or something like that.
Okay.
We can coordinate that later.
Yes. Okay. I'll make a note of that here, and I'll get something scheduled for maybe mid-month. Sound okay?
Now the next 2 weeks is the 13th,
Yeah.
which is a Tuesday. But that's after a holiday, so. But I can be in touch, and we can figure it out.
Okay, but just timing-wise, I mean that week kind of is what you're targeting.
Yeah, because we'll have certainly we'll have a requisition from Delphi, and hopefully another change order to sign, and maybe some other invoices.
Okay, so we'll look to set something up the week of the 12th, possibly. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions or anything that they'd like to ask Steve before he drops out? No. All right, good. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, everybody, I
Have a good night,
appreciate
okay?
it. Good night.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
So yeah, if we could move into just a quick discussion of where we're at with Rachel and Linda on the furnishes and FF&E and all that stuff, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, there's been nothing that Sarah or JD and I have had to vote on in terms of finishes or to bring to you, but Rachel has been heavily involved along with Sarah and myself and our 2 board members who have been helping out, Janice and Leslie. But I think, Rachel, are you ready to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So we are gearing to send the FF&E package out to bid hopefully by the end of this week. There are a few loose ends we're trying to wrap up, mainly the selection of tables. And then I also wanted to talk to the committee about some of the items that we'd like to, that we've selected that are outside of items on the state bid list. So just to back up a second and just look at this as a larger perspective. So the budget for FF&E furniture is $180,000. I believe that we're on budget, and that with competitive bidding we should be in around that figure. We're looking at sending the bid to 3 to 4 companies. So Red Thread is one. The second is ORI, which is a local company out of Scituate. The next would be WB Mason, and then just recently today we heard interest from Creative Office Pavilion, or COP, and I have no issue with sending them the bid as well, so I can reach up to follow up with them to get their contact information. But so with four bidders, I think we should get some good pricing back.
Okay.
The items that we're looking to go off of the outside, I should say, of the state bid list, it's a range of furniture. So it's some seating, some benches, some conference room chairs, a range of tables, mainly coffee tables, side tables, and credenzas, and then lastly some semi-custom bookcases. And all total, that comes to just under $10,000 for all of those items. And the companies that we are interested in getting these furnishings from, it's West Elm Commercial, Room and Board Commercial, and Restoration Hardware. The majority being from West Elm and Room and Board. And West Elm Commercial is a company that is represented by Red Thread. And to be honest, I'm not sure who represents Room and Board Commercial in the Boston area.
Okay, I mean, we discussed this early on that we felt that there was probably going to be the scenario where there was just items that needed to fit into the space that probably would not be on the state bid list. $10,000 doesn't seem crazy to me. I mean, I think you've definitely got the lion's share of it on the bid, which is good to hear for sure. Does anybody in the
And also,
No.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I was just going to clarify that also for this bid, we're accepting substitutions.
Okay.
We're going to vet those substitutions as part of awarding the bid, but any of these items could be a substitution and we'd evaluate it if it was proposed.
Oh, okay. So you're going to send these items out, right? That's a good strategy, I think. Does anyone have any comments or questions on that strategy or the funds of not items that are on the state bid list? No, that's good to hear. I think that's great really good to hear that's basically that the whole list is covered on the state bid list, and we can get out to 4 vendors, 3-4 vendors, and get some little competition going. Hopefully, get some good pricing. And you were going to include install and the pricing, I think, install and delivery, right?
That's correct. That would be included, as well as minor things like
Right.
Making sure that all waste is taken off the site, those kind of things.
Got it. No, that's great. And delivery time is still looking decent?
So that, I'm hoping, to be honest, this is going to be the first furniture project I have done during COVID. I
Right.
think a lot of the items are quick ship items, if you will. My one concern is soft seating, like we have a few couches that would be custom upholstered, and I think those are going to have the longest lead time. So I think once the bid is awarded, it's going to be a conversation to have with the winning bidder, and we'll just have to assess it and make adjustments if necessary. And it might mean that the package or the bid is split up, and part of it is installed on time, and then part might be installed as pieces come in.
Okay. Because you're
That would be our
targeting,
worst case scenario.
targeting February, January, when you were targeting to get that furniture?
Yep. So install date would be February 1st.
All right.
So, I don't know if this is a good time to interject this, Rachel, about the game table, because I mentioned to Nancy that I have a small-ish purchase to make that would take something off or out of the bid package. So it's for a game table, a poker table, game table, kind of a combination, that we were putting into the bid, but instead of a brand new one, we found a used one that's available now that I could buy tomorrow. So I wonder if I could get approval to have those funds, $500, expended for me early tomorrow.
I don't know how we do that.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
On the vendor, it's well below procurement, you're getting a
Yeah.
used rather than a new, and people are happy about it, so if PBC is fine with it, when it comes back before you, if we will authorize payment. Like Linda said, she could pay for it out of gifts now, and you could authorize it at the next meeting.
Right. How's the board feel about that? I mean, it seems.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Really couldn't hear Nancy, Steve.
So Nancy said it's possible we can kind of authorize a purchase tonight, then vote on paying our next meeting. Like you're saying.
You could vote on the invoice itself next week. Linda said she could possibly pay for it out of her gift account for now, and then they can come back before the board when you don't normally approve invoices, or you can just authorize what she said the cost is going to be.
Yeah.
I
We
just don't
could
know.
do like we usually do, just a quick vote on a not to exceed, and she could make the purchase, and then we can authorize the invoice when it comes in.
Okay.
Does that seem like
Sounds like a good idea.
what is a new table cost?
It was in the vicinity, Rachel. Go ahead.
Yes, I was going to say a new table would be between $3,500 and $5,000.
Okay, and you can get a comparable
So
one.
$500 is a great deal.
And it's nice. It doesn't, it's nice.
Yeah, no, that table that you sourced, that equivalent table, if you bought it new, would be about $3,000.
Yeah.
All right. Good homework. That's good.
Lucky.
Anyone on the board have any problems with it, or any issues? No.
Sounds like a good purchase.
Okay, I know.
All right, I'll make a quick motion just so we can get it on the minutes and vote for it. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Linda Hayes to purchase a used game table in the amount of not to exceed $500 in lieu of purchasing a new table estimated to be around $3,500. It's a good saving for the project. It's been thoroughly reviewed by the architects and the Council on Aging. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by, it was Stephanie, I think I heard there. If we could do a quick roll call, that'd be great, Alicia.
JD,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes,
Larry,
Yes.
and Stevens.
Yes. All right, so the vote's unanimous, so the motion passes. Great. That's good.
Thank you very much.
Good thinking, Linda. That's awesome.
Thanks. So I'll also mention, I guess, here that we are meeting tomorrow, early afternoon. I think, Rachel, you thought, just for a final review of the bid package before it goes out. So Stephanie, I don't know if you want to, if you're available to come, or if anybody else is interested.
Which day is it?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, just let me know what time I might be able to.
Okay.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for all the homework, and I think you got a good. We got some good outcomes here. Seems like we have a good strategy. I appreciate it. All right. Any other business on the senior center project?
In case I can't make it tomorrow, can I look at it electronically as well?
Yeah, we could do that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. If you send it to Stephanie and Linda, can you just send it to me also? That'd be good.
Sure.
Thanks. All right, good. That wraps up our senior center discussion. So, on to the next here.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So the next item up on the agenda is just a quick discussion on the public safety complex, kind of where we're at with the HVAC and the EOC room there. I guess Kevin's on the line. He can give a quick update there.
Yes, I am online. Excuse me. I don't really have any new news. The way they head back from GG&D still, like I mentioned to Steve on an email today, one of the problems is, all the engineers are busy with the same thing we're busy with, running around working on schools and getting stuff, all doing things that no one ever had to do before. I have entertained, like I mentioned in the last meeting, of reaching out to other engineers, but at this time, that's kind of a non-starter. So I asked Frank yesterday in an email that if he could please give me some type of an update. I did not hear back from him, unfortunately, for tonight, but that's all I have. But Nancy said we did settle on a cost for the project, so that's, I guess, one step.
That's good. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Yeah, and I think we talked about it too. That moving vendors and stuff. It's hard to move vendors. I mean, they're so invested in the building. They have all the drawings. They have all the knowledge. To get another engineering company in there, it'd be, for them to do the back work on it and the studies on it and figuring out what's going on. I think there's a lot of legwork there that would be fairly costly. I think we're kind of just between a rock and a hard place here, honestly.
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I do have a couple of mechanical contractors who I'm really confident in their ability. A couple of them are, one of them actually is an engineer and so forth. But I just really, like you say, the other GG&D has it's their building, and I really think it's worth it to see what they have to say.
All right. Let's give it another couple meetings, and hopefully they get you some by then. If not, we'll regroup and come up with a new plan.
Agreed. Thank you.
Does that sound fair to everyone?
Yeah, all set.
Yep.
Because the notes. Okay.
Yeah, we're leaving $30,000 available.
Okay.
And it's return back.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for that update in the public safety complex. Moving right along, next item on the agenda is the library project update. Again, we have just one item there that's sitting with Kevin with the generator and the possibility of installation of a generator, and the engineering work has been done, and I believe it's out to bid. If you want to give a little update on that, Kevin, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to agree with everything you just said, but we have not gone out to bid yet.
Okay.
Costantini just last week sent me back we sent them the approval of the design, we sent them our front end that the town needed, and then they sent it back that it still needs 2 more edits from the town, 2 different pages that we need to look at. And I have been unable since last week to get together with Sean McCarthy to review that. And I will do my best to get that done before the next meeting and hopefully have it out to bid.
Okay. So just a little legwork left on there. No, it's good to get it right, so we get the right bid. Obviously, that's important. Does that sound okay to everyone? Is that any questions or comments on
Sure.
that? It's a waiting game here. Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions for Kevin while we got him on the line here? Nothing. All right.
No.
Good. Flying right along here. Next item on the agenda, is there any old or new business or anything for discussion? None? Carl's quiet in the room here, so that's good. Good, all right. No, that's good. It sounds like we're making good progress at the senior center, which is great. And, just a couple hanging items here that are a little held up with the COVID type deal. It sounds pretty par for the course for the year. So good. So thank you everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate it. So I will make a motion to adjourn here at 7:48. Is there a second?
Second?
So Carl seconded in the room here. If we could do a quick roll call, Alicia, that'd be nice.
CD?
Yes.
Stephanie? Yes. Linda?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Steven?
Yes. All right. Everybody's in favor, so we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I
Bye.